Welcome to GodSpark Nation. My name is Tracy. Super excited to see you guys as we continue this amazing conversation about leadership in this quantum realm that we are creating. Let me briefly describe what the GodSpark is. So Cynthia used to work at these particle accelerator labs in California, Stanford and Lawrence Livermore labs. And essentially they were these particle accelerators. So, the particle is the little teeny tiny bit piece of an atom. And what would happen is a human couldn't be in the room when they were doing this particle acceleration because they could influence the particle. If you thought, oh, particle, go do a backflip, it would do a backflip. If you told that particle, do a 180 somersault, gainer, since we're doing the Olympics, and that would do that. So think about this. So if a human could have an influence on a particle outside of themselves, that is what is called or known as the GodSpark. And with encouragement, if you have influence on a particle outside of yourself, what about particles inside of yourself? It is really, really powerful. So that is why we have this GodSpark Nation. It is here to inspire you and to help you learn about things in this quantum paradigm. And right now we're in a series, it's Leading with the Heart in a Quantum Paradigm. And last week we covered 10 principles. It was a fire hose of information, okay? I knew it was probably too much. So I created a document with notes and questions to help you kind of go into your heart space and come up with your own examples. And you can find that on our YouTube channel in the replay, like in the description of the video, you'll see a link that will have that, and you can print that document up if you choose, or just save it to your hard drive. So as we step into this new world that we're creating and our humanitarian projects, many of you are humanitarians, and we know that QHS is already an approved project. And so what we do as leaders is we need a team to bring these to fruition, because we've heard it all, many hands make light work. And when money is no object, the people you bring to your team will help you because they love that sense of accomplishment and that joy that it brings them, the personal growth, the education, and the sense of community that you will create together. Super important. And here's a side note. So there was research done years ago, and they were wondering what keeps people living a healthy life into their 90s and 100s. It's not diet or exercise. It is literally close relationships with family and friends and a strong sense of community. So now you see how important that is. And you want to create this community where we really know and understand the universal law of oneness, okay? That this community, these projects that we're creating, grow exponentially. That's the quantum field, right? Everything, everywhere, all at once. It's not going to be this linear straight line. It's going to just explode. So there is this opportunity for growth for you and your team on every level. And we are already offering this at QHS. The body, I would say that's the wow, it's the physical, the mind and the spirit. So I would say the spirit is definitely key. And this class, in my point of view, is more of the mindset and the philosophy and the how to, which creates this whole quantum field. Okay. And so even like when we want to learn, so I feel like there's this thing that Tony Robbins says, Connie, constant and never ending improvement. However, with these new technologies that are going to be released, imagine wearing an earbud, sitting in a special chair and getting a special download. Will it be to learn a language, a musical instrument, a technical skill? It's so exciting because as we grow, we grow others. So we personally grow and then we help grow others. So this community that we are going to create, we are in the process of creating, is close knit, like-minded people who share the same frequency of unlimited possibilities. Okay? We do not have limits on ourselves. At least I hope you don't. But you want to have this honor and integrity, respect and trust, and hold these virtues very tightly and expect your teams to have the same. Okay? We don't have to worry about harm to anyone. When this world that we are creating, this community, will have a mentality of abundance, not lack. That's a big thing here, is when money is no thing and time is no thing, there's an abundance of both. And so nobody has to feel like they have to hoard everything to themselves. There will be a feeling of coherence as we celebrate this law of oneness, not competition. We're all here together, creating this together. And activities among your group will be joyous and fun. It will have a sense of peace because you'll be in that quantum field where everything just feels coherent. And I've shown you guys the metronomes that we sync up, that he who has, or she who has the highest frequency wins. So we're lifting each other up through this. And so as we step into this golden age of mankind, we are going to all do incredible things to help ourselves, our families, and our communities. And there was a funny thing as we build these teams we want to consider. Did you know that most employees do as much as necessary and as little as possible? Most employers pay as much as necessary and as little as possible. It's this constant state of tug and war. But we who are creating this business in the new paradigm where money and time are limitless will have abundance and joy in every single move you make. Okay, so you will tap into your heart's desires and every answer will be found within. So we get out of our head and into our heart, leading with the heart on all things, because that's where you find that inner spirit that always has your back. So you will treat your team and your community with love and respect, which will allow freedom that nobody has ever known in every way. Imagine that. So this changes from the old paradigm where people just do the minimal of everything to the new paradigm that everybody feels a part of it. When I was writing my book years ago, I was so excited to get up and write that I couldn't sleep. I just wanted to write. Same thing with QHS. In the morning when I wake up, I always have these should things that I think I should do, but I always want to work. I want to see what my assistant worked on the night before. I am a part of this dream team here at QHS, and so are you. And the goal in my heart is for each and every one of you to feel appreciated and to feel loved, to feel safe and secure. And that's why I always say that none of us are on a pedestal. Okay? Everybody is an important piece of this puzzle. So last week I shared these 10 principles in leading your team, and Cynthia thought it would be helpful to give some examples and to hear your ideas too. So as you listen as a review or reviewing these principles, I'm going to call on one of you, if you raise your digital hand, of course, and so you can share and collaborate. So just based on time, I have about 10 minutes. We will see how many we get through. All right. And if we don't get through them all, we'll pick up where we left off. And then when we finish that, we're going to start with a few more. I think I have 7 or 8 more principles. Okay. So just remember, if you decide to raise your hand and talk, please be like a little bit brief so we can get through these, but also know that you're going to be on the replay. Okay. So we always want to protect your privacy and your anonymity. And so just know, I don't want to scare you or anything, but I just want you to know that you will be on the replay. Okay. So the first one is the map is not the territory. And I don't know if you remember that from last week, but essentially the way I am applying this is the map is a small piece. The territory is the whole big picture. Okay. So I have studied nutrition since 2007, and I see the ill effects of eating different foods. And I see it firsthand with my parents. My mom has Alzheimer's. My dad had cancer 5 times. Now, so that's my map, right? Is what I know to be true about, say, sugar, for instance. Well, my husband thinks just because he's not overweight that he can eat sugar. So you can see his map is about his weight. And so we run decisions based on our map without knowing this whole entire territory. So, but what we want to do is know that everybody's map is right in their own eyes, okay? Because we don't know what we don't know. And so I have to accept that my husband's map is different than mine and just let it be, which is what I do. So does anybody else does anybody here have something to contribute where they have a personal example? Maybe you guys discussed this last week, but anybody have anything to add to the map is not the territory? No? Okay, then I'll move on. I'm going to keep asking just in case. I know you guys shared good stuff last week. I read the notes and they were awesome. Okay, so just like I said a minute ago, everybody's map or paradigm of the world is right in their eyes. So my hubby feels that his map is right and that it works for him. But I look at my map as being more long-term effects, not the short-term. And so we have to agree to disagree. However, when I try to share my map with, say, my mother, she thinks that I'm attacking her. And because she sees it more like my husband does. And so I have to be very, very careful that I don't force my map onto somebody else, because that's one thing about humans is everybody wants to be right. That's like one of their big goals. And so what I have learned through making a lot of mistakes is that unless somebody asks about my map and wants my opinion, I just button it up. I don't give it usually, not always, but usually I don't share my opinion on things unless I'm asked for my advice. And that's the right thing to do as a coach, because I don't want to cross anybody else's dominion. Okay, so that's an important distinction as you create your team, to know that not everybody's going to see things the exact way you see it, because it's based on their map, which is based on their historic background, you know, what their history was and their life lessons are. The burning question tonight is, how will you lead your team with love? And what does business in the quantum paradigm mean to you?